make America great again. Troy Ave saying bacon, water, whip, wait again.
I'm in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Welcome back to In Black America Radio with your host, Rasta B. It is November 3rd, 2017. November 3rd, 2017. 20 more days to my brother's birthday, ironically. Guest call-in number, 646-716-4654. That's the call-in number. But what are you calling in for? You're calling in because today's show is titled, we're going to be discussing here in Black America Radio. We're going to talk about Tyrese crying on social media about his daughter. We're going to talk about Trump-Hillary drama. And we're going to talk about this guy named Nature Boy. We're not really going to talk so much about the boy Nature Boy as much as we're going to talk about all the nature boys out there who likes to manipulate the black woman with their pseudo bullshit. Again, the guest calling number, 646-716-4654. This is definitely the show that the black woman you need to really be tuned into tonight. Call a friend, tell your girlfriends to listen in because y'all need to get this information. Y'all got to stop letting these weirdos sell y'all bullshit and all the other dumb shit. We'll get into all of that. But before we do anything else, let me go ahead and bring in my co-host, Smoke. Smoke, are you there?
Yo, what's good?
Good with that, boy. Quick on the draw.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
Shit, what's good, y'all?
Shit, man, Big Friday, man. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Shit, everything goody good. I had to take my son to get glasses this week, so that's been tripping me out the last couple of days. So he got to wear glasses and shit, so he blind like his pops and shit. Yeah, so
I know I can't.
Other than that,
goddamn. Yeah, I can't see shit. My damn self never could see shit. But I always operate off energy. You know what I'm saying? Right. I can't even explain that. You know what I'm saying? I can't even explain it. I just operate off energy because shit. All the time you see me, I couldn't see, and I ain't never had glasses like that. You know what I'm saying? And
it was like that before I got glasses. You know what I'm saying? But like, it was like that before I got glasses. It was like once I got glasses, I started realizing all of the shit that I wasn't really seeing. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, damn, you was just finding that shit. You know what I mean? Like, just working through it. Then once I got glasses or contacts, you know what I mean? I don't know if I can go out without them.
Nah, it's your other senses get heightened. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
That's what that shit do. Because I never could see. Every time I had glasses like 3 times in my life. I had it once when I was a kid. I had the welfare glasses, but a bus ran over that. School bus ran over that, so I stopped wearing that. Then I had brought glasses when I used to travel from GA to out to SC. When I used to do them trips back and forth all the time. No. What happened was I had took a trip to Maryland right before. That's when I had my red car, the Ford Focus. Right before I had wrecked that shit on my 21st birthday, so it was like early 2000. And I had took my glasses to go to Maryland because I didn't want to travel that far with no glasses. So I took that trip to Maryland, and when I came back, I had the glasses, And I think when I was going to South Carolina is where I lost it because I never wanted to wear it. I used to always take it off when I'm in places, but I'll put it on when I'm driving, and I lost it. And then I have glasses now that's all broke up that I just place on my face when I'm driving, you know what I'm saying, so I can see. I got to get some new glasses. And the funny thing, I got insurance, you know what I'm saying? I just never had a time.
Got America's Best or something.
Yeah, I got shit. I needed to go ahead and do it, man. Yeah, so, you know, the whole glasses shit, but I like to operate off that energy, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I like to do, you know? I always feel like once I have the glasses and I'm seeing the physical, it's like, I don't know, I can't really operate, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, something about that squint, you know what I'm saying, that make motherfuckers be like, all right, what the fuck going on with this dude? I don't know. But, again, that's calling number 646-716-4654. So let's get into this, man, so we don't run out of the time towards the end and things of this nature. We got, let's get into this politics shit first, because the Tyrese crying and Nature Boy kind of sort of go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? So we already know that Mueller, this is actually broke last week. This story actually broke last week, Friday, when we was on the show, doing the show. I had seen the breaking news, but I didn't want to address it because, you know, there was no story. Nothing was going to happen until Monday. So I didn't really want to, deal with it because I didn't know what to deal with, right? Okay, cool. So now we got more information, right? And now what he got indictments on Manafort and another dude named Gates and this Papadopoulos dude, George Papadopoulos or whatever, that came out of left field. Nobody really even knew that, pretty much. You dig what I'm saying? Okay, so we say all of that, we say this. Indictments, charges. None of that means shit without a conviction. None of that means shit without a conviction. This is how I feel. Excuse me. This is just how I feel. None of that means nothing without a conviction. And if they're not going to take down Trump, then none of it means anything at all. That's how I feel. Are they going to take down Trump? Hell no. Because as they talk all of that impeachment and bullshit about Trump, you got to listen to these white people when they talk, yo. They also say collusion ain't even against the law. You see what I'm saying? They said collusion isn't even against the law, and they also said that, basically saying that they don't really have a case on Trump, right? This is what was said before Mueller was handed out the indictment. When he was first appointed to case, they said a lot of times it's not the initial, let's say, accusation that's levied upon the person that gets the person arrested. It's the cover-up or the attempted cover-up that normally jammed them up. Just like the Michael Vick shit, right?
Yeah.
Loosely speaking. Michael Vick was not arrested for dogfighting, right? Before the show's over, maybe I might find an actual charge or some shit like that. But he wasn't arrested for dogfighting. He was arrested for something else. You see what I'm saying? Tupac was not arrested for rape or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? He was arrested for something else.
Yeah.
So on the surface, they keep telling you this collusion in Russia. It gets to the point now, Smoke, they're talking about, Russians made memes that convinced people not to vote for Hillary Clinton. Memes, they're like dumb.
Yeah, they were saying what I was saying about the collusion, pretty much was the same thing you're saying. That it's not actually a crime, and so one of the avenues they were saying that Robert Mueller might go down as far as like charges would be like the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. They were saying they could have violated that with emails, like through, like the cover up in emails and so forth. So they were saying like you were saying, it's not a actual charge itself. But when you look at the headlines for it, it's pretty much like, a conspiracy, you know what I mean? It's like, that's not even something that they can, charge them for. Collusion. That's not even. It's really just a term. Right? It's not a federal crime.
Yeah, and that's my whole thing. So once you realize it's not a crime, then what are we talking about?
Yeah, story for us to.
That's just something
for us to talk about.
Nobody's adding up that part. Nobody's adding that part up. Nobody's saying to themselves, okay, if it's not a crime, then what the hell? Remember, they got videos of fucking Van Jones and all them talking about that whole Russia shit is just a nothing burger. It's the cover-up. Look at Sessions. Sessions is about to be on his 15th time changing his statement. Because now, the George Papadopoulos and all them other dudes, they talking and shit. All these niggas talking. Not all, you know what I'm saying? They talking, and then they turn around and they like, it's funny right now, Malika calling me. She must know now. So, what happened is they find out that Jeff Sessions spoke up during the meeting and said, that Russia shit ain't a good idea. All y'all niggas talking about Russia and all, that ain't a good idea. Y'all meeting up with them, that's not a good idea. So because he wanted to stick loyal and stick to, let's call it what it is, Smoke, and stick to the G code and not rat on his boys. You know what I'm saying? He said he never heard nothing about the Russian shit. Right. Now that they see that he did, he was in the room when they talked about Russia, and he was against it. Now Congress want to give him a chance to amend. That's that dictionary word. Amend his testimony, which in all actuality, no, I mean, you lied.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? But they don't want to make him right. They don't want to perjure him, so they're giving him the option. Stick to your statement and get perjured, or come back and tell us a new story. This is like his third, fourth, fifth time doing it. So the whole shit is, at the end of the day, like I said, when I hear shit like that, the first thing I think is, because y'all want them here. Because if y'all didn't want them there, I should have been nailing them every time they do something illegal. But y'all want them there, right? But now, once they figure all of that out, we got all this misinformation out and muddy up the information, guess what? You're going to realize all of this ain't nothing. And once you realize all of this whole Trump shit ain't really nothing, that's when you're going to really understand why I keep saying to me, this go-around is going to be a three-term Republican run. Then what comes out? As Mueller doing his investigation, Podesta. Who is Podesta? That's the last name, right? This guy named Tony Podesta, who got something called a Podesta Group, right? This dude, he all caught up in some Russian shit. Him and Manafort, they homies. So they homies. They caught up in their shit. Some other little funky shit going on. I don't know. I'm just going off the top of my head. Some other funky shit going on. Yada yada yada. But who is Tony Podesta's brother? John Podesta. Who is John Podesta? That's Hillary Clinton's, I want to say chief strategist or whatever. But he's the dude who, when Hillary didn't go out and say she lost, he's the white dude that was out there and told everybody to go home. That's John Podesta. So now you got Manafort, you got Tony Podesta, who stepped down from his own company, like Weinstein stepped down from his own company. All right. So now he steps down. So that they're showing that this investigation is going to get real funky in 2018. So Hillary comes out with her little funky-ass book. I don't know the name of the book. I can't remember. Right? And everybody praised her book. I can't remember what it's called. I don't know. When you break your neck on the glass ceiling, I don't know. Some shit. But then, that was last week. This week, a whole bombshell dropped because Donna Brazile, who I'm pretty sure y'all heard of, because she's the black woman that used to be all on CNN, then she ended up getting, after Wasserman soap, cruddy ass, after her cruddy ass got caught out there on some fuddy-duddy shit, all of this is off the top of my head. She had to step down. That's what propped Donna Brazile up. Then Donna Brazile, in return, she gets notes from CNN, and she shoots them shit to Hillary. And these old fuckers is so goddamn out of the loop that, if I'm not mistaken, she put, just to show you how least important Donna Brazile is to the Democrats, she had to put in the subject line, I believe, like, yo, Hillary,
yeah.
You remember? Like
yeah,
that,
and she put like answers to the questions or some shit like that, or questions. What was it? I forget whatever it was for, but she put those questions as the subject.
Whatever it was, it proved she wasn't important. You dig what I'm saying? If you answer the phone call,
that's the only way they was reading her.
Right. If you answer the phone call every time your mom's call, she don't gotta put 911 or she don't gotta put it's emergency. It's emergency, pick up. You know what I'm saying? If I read that, I'm like, oh, he must have got a good relationship with his mom. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because if you do, she don't gotta put special shit. Or let me call up. Boom. Let me send an email. Boom. Let me send a letter. I'm gonna get a response. That's my son. When I seen that, I said, oh, she don't even got a good relationship in there. Which explains why she dropped her book called Hack, right? I don't know what the whole title was. Hack? The Donna Brazile story? I don't know. I'm going to see it because I got something right here, but I'm going to find it in a minute. But, yeah, this is called Hack, right? So he goes, all right, this is the full memo. Let me see if I can get this full. Shit, they done changed it. They done changed the script on me. All right, so they go.
Hacks.
This right here, the title is called Memos Reveal Details of Hillary Clinton's DNC Deal. This is the deal she got. The DNC struck a fundraising deal with Hillary Clinton in 2005. Excuse me. That would be too crazy, right? Excuse me. The Democratic National Committee struck a fundraising deal with Hillary Clinton in 2015. Sorry. They gave her campaign input on some party personnel and spending decisions, but only as they related to the general election and with the provision that other candidates could make similar arrangements, according to a memo of the agreement obtained by NBC News. The documents provide more content to the explosive claims made by former DNC interim chair Donna Brazile in a forthcoming book. An excerpt of which was published this week. Oh, the book ain't even come out yet. Okay. And, the August 26, 2015 memorandum of understanding from Clinton campaign manager Robbie Bout to DNC CEO Amy Dassey, which supplemented a standard joint fundraising agreement, more fully explained the relationship between Clinton and the DNC long before she won her party's nomination. And you goddamn right, Long, because that's August 26, 2015. Barack's still president.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Barack's still president. That means on TV they probably like, for Hillary Clinton, you gonna run? Oh, I'm not sure yet. Knowing she lying. Knowing she's lying like a motherfucker. In exchange for Hillary for America, HFA, y'all should look that up. All of these organizations you should look up, and every time these white people drop information, like they was part of this group, they was part of this PAC, they was getting money from this whatever, Google these names and familiarize yourself with what the hell they talking about. That's a little tip. In exchange for Hillary for America's helping the cash-strapped DNC raise money, the committee agreed that HFA, Hillary for America, personnel will be consulted and have joint authority over strategic decisions over the staffing, budget, expenditures, and general election-related communications, data, technology, analytics, and research. Specifically, the DNC agreed to hire a communications director from one of two candidates previously identified as acceptable to Hillary for America, HFA. And while the DNC maintained the authority to make the final decision on senior staff, and while the DNC maintained, quote unquote, the authority to make the final decision on senior staff, am I reading it wrong? On senior staff, it's that communication. I don't even know what the fuck that means. That's how they wrote it. Technology and Research Department. It said would it choose between candidates acceptable to HFA. However, the memo made clear it pertained only to the general election, not the primary season, and it left open the possibility it would sign similar agreements with other candidates. Nothing in this agreement shall be construed to violate the DNC's obligation of impartiality and neutrality through the nominating process. All activities performed under this agreement will be focused exclusively on preparations for the general election and not the Democratic primary, the memo states. Further, we understand you may enter into similar agreements with other candidates, it continued. The Clinton campaign agreed to make an initial payment of $1.2 million to DNC, which was crippled by debt. Let me repeat that again. The Clinton campaign agreed to make an initial payment of $1.2 million to the DNC, which was crippled by debt, and provided a monthly allowance and other funds. The agreement appeared intended to give the campaign oversight over their money was money spent. Yo, whoever wrote this can't write. They put, the agreement appears intended to give the campaign oversight over their money was spent. That's what it really said. This person who wrote it called Alex Sitzwald. SEITZ-WALD. This is a dumb person. The joint fundraising agreement was first reported over a year and a half ago, but gained new attention this week with Brazil's book. In an excerpt published this week in Political, Brazil writes she was stunned to discover the fundraising agreement, which she called a cancer on the party that led the DNC to treat Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont unfairly. Sanders' campaign later signed its own joint fundraising agreement with the DNC, but did not utilize it. Right? So that's pretty much the story off of right there what I'm reading from. But it just shows you, man, the whole shit is messed up. What you thought about that, Smoke? What you got to say about that?
Bad Hillary. Bad Hillary, man. Yo, I mean, it basically is like, I mean, one, it reflected in her confidence and her non-action. So when you saw, like, you know, how she was running her campaign, you know what I mean? It was more like promotional visits. We're going to show up at these concerts and on Ellen, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like, yo, it's like she got it, you know what I'm saying? But it's funny that, you know, they had all of these setups in place. You know, she was already guaranteed to be the nominee for the Democrat. So pretty much they played Bernie Sanders. They had Bernie Sanders out there for no reason. They had him out the water, you know, wasting time pretty much. But she did all of that and then still lost. That's the crazy shit. It's like, yo, they guaranteed you the nominee, so you really didn't have a fight in the beginning. Everything was set up for you, and you still lost the campaign. So it just showed. And you think back to the time of, like, you know, when they said in the beginning, it took her, was it 200 and something days to, you know, actually hit the campaign trail. So she knew in her mind that, you know, this is set up for her to win. And she's going to go in there and win. And also, like, you hear, like, you know, surrounding Donald Trump, you hear nothing but conspiracy all day. But then now it's, you know, we taking a peek back at the Democrats and Hillary, and it's just peeling back conspiracies. So it's just like, it's funny, man. It's funny. They had this whole shit lined up for me.
My whole thing is how many black women got duped with the shit. And John Podesta's the chairman. But how many people got duped into this shit? Her whole Hillary for America, they got this shit set up. They talk about everybody out there, whatever. Here's what's funny. What is the issue with Omarosa with the Trump campaign? Remember, she was the outreach, the African-American outreach, right?
Right.
And everybody want to make that shit like that was some cool shit, right?
Pretty much.
They have Latino outreach director.
All that shit.
They got a Latino outreach director named Lorella Pirelli. She's part of the Hillary for America campaign. The African American outreach director is called Ladavia Drain. We've got the labor outreach director, Nikki Budzinski, the woman outreach director, the AAPI outreach director. You know what I'm saying? So the whole point I'm making is it's like,
you ever heard of
LGBT outreach director. No, it don't matter if you heard them or not, because all these people are just people now, right? But it's just listen to all the point I'm making is, when Trump have a fucking African American outreach, people want to act like, oh my God, what is that? What? Oh, look at Trump now trying to pander to the blacks. All of them got this.
Yeah,
all of them do this. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the reason why I'm saying that, because I want people to understand that you can't listen to people try to villainize people and tell you about other. No, black people, we're not in that position.
No.
We're not in that position. The only position that black people is in the position of doing what we got to do to better ourselves. That is it. We're not in the position of cherry picking and pointing fingers and laughing at people and you know what I'm saying and all kind of shit
but
like
see,
that.
the thing is like okay. We have Omarosa, and the point, like I was saying, like you don't know those other people, but we know Omarosa. She's out there. People know her. She have connections, so I'm pretty sure people could get in contact, talk to her, so forth and so on. But like, the thing is that we have these, these opportunities that we can act on, and we could easily reach out to her. And shoot whatever plans we have to her. And if it gets shot down and don't work, then we can say that we can call her whatever, or we can have our voice our opinions about how it don't work, how it's just some bullshit. But it's not gonna work. Resisting, not talking at all, staying away from it. We definitely not gonna get anything out there. So. You have to really sit back and think, what is the plan? If we're not going to talk, what plans do the Black Caucus and the Democratic National Party? What plans do they have? If we're going to not reach out to Omarosa, if we're not going to talk to this presidency at all, what are we going to do? Are we just going to sit and wait for the next Democrat to come in? Like, what is the plan?
Yeah.
So we got to realize that it ain't no plan.
That's what the plan is. The plan is we waiting for another Democrat to come in. We so fucking stupid. We don't even have a Republican caucus, which won't even be called a caucus. It would be considered a conference. And every other group have one. You get what I'm saying? Every other group has a caucus and a conference, except black people in this country. We only have a caucus, meaning we only tied in the line with the Democratic side. The whole point of me bringing up the shit going on with the Democrats is because you can't rely on them. They dead into the water. This shit is going to be 3-term Republican rule. Don't look at no fucking TV and have them believing that Trump is going to get impeached. Trump ain't getting impeached. All right, Smoke. Trump getting impeached sound fresh to us, just like we all thought George Bush was going to be arrested for war crimes. Remember all the proof they had about George Bush? What about the WMD? Yeah, because we went through all of that shit with Bush. Bush had 2 fucking terms.
Yeah, when they figured out it wasn't no weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, but these motherfuckers love Bush now. Now they act like Bush is the best thing and shit. So it's like that shit's weird. They got the black woman in Florida, right? Because of with the whole she's a senator. Her name is I think like Frederica or something like that. But it's like she's the dealing with the brother of David. You know what I'm saying? Who is
right. I want to say she got an interview with my son. I want to say they was on somewhere together.
Interview with for what? I don't understand. All right, listen. So the whole point I'm saying that is to say that her story is the same story of the sister during the Barack administration called, I think her name is Sherry Sherrod or something like that. Let me type it in real quick. I think it's Sherry Sherrod or something like that. Dealing with Barack Obama and it was that whole Sherry Sherrod. Damn, I got a good ass fucking memory to be a weed smoker, yo. Straight up. I got a good ass fucking because that's the whole Andrew Breitbart shit. So what happened is Andrew Breitbart, and he had the whole Breitbart shit, right? His whole website. He ended up chopping up a video of the sister while she's telling a story of basically how she used to think versus how she thinks now. So she goes, she's head of the agriculture, whatever, she's working in there, whatever. She's seeing how black people are getting dicked by this goddamn system. You know what I'm saying? So when this white dude come in, she's telling the story like this. So when this white dude come in, he, you know what I'm saying, he needs help. And she looking like, shit, go get your people, you know what I'm saying? Go get help from your people. Why this shit on? What the fuck is wrong? Yeah, so go get help from your people. You know what I'm saying? That's how she thinking, like, But when the white boy goes into the talk to the other white dude and come out, she looking at the paper and she like, yo, this white boy just dicked him. You know what I'm saying? Gave him the wrong information. So she looking through the papers and shit like that, goes down to the farm, all that shit. Help save the goddamn white dude's land, right? They end up having a good relation, all that shit. So she said at that point, that's when she stopped looking at the shit on some racial shit, right? She stopped looking at it on some racial shit, and she started looking at it more so like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know how we do, basically. Right. So they chopped the shit up and made it just seem like she discriminated against him because he's white. Yeah. But she's telling a story. She's telling you, this is how I used to think until this event happened type shit. So Barack them fired her, didn't even give the shit a second chance to defend herself. Fired her. She's like, whoa, what the fuck I get fired for? The point of me saying that to say this, they share the same story. Because when John Kelly came and lied on the sister, they pulled up the video, and the video vindicated her. Just like with the Sherry Sherrod story, they lied on the sister. The videotape vindicated her. You see what I'm saying? We're living in the same time. Right now, they're telling you all this impeachment of Trump. Guess what? They were doing the same shit with Bush. Guess what? We was all up and riled up and all that shit. And guess what? We went through 2 terms of Bush. Then we went through 2 terms of Barack. We're gonna go through 3 terms of fucking Republican rulership. My whole question is, where's our preparation game? Where's the part where we say to ourselves, okay, enough is enough. Enough of the back and forth, enough of this stupid ass tennis game that's going on. We got to do for self and get our shit together. We're not on that part. Even Smoke, when I'm on the Facebook, and people ask the question, yo, what do you think black people need? What if we had this much money? What should we do? Yo, I'll be the only person on there saying we got to rebuild our economy. I'll be the only one on there saying that. We got to rebuild our economy. We got to build up our economy. Everybody else. We need schools. We need housing, farmland. We need to buy land. That would keep us paying taxes to the white man. And I'm like, no, that's not going to keep you from doing shit anywhere. Go ahead, Simone.
Yeah, those are the results of having an economy. You know what I'm saying? The economy makes that creates the jobs and money flow for the community, for people in the community, so that you can buy houses and buy land. So, it's like you got to put one thing first. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's really possible. Nothing's really possible. We went through a lot of these scenarios throughout the shows here. We talk about politics. We was talking about New York politics and how the brother Khalif Browder, his brother is running for he want to run for mayor and all that. And we was talking, it was a feel good story or whatever. But then once you break things down, it's like, okay, like how we're gonna give him money? So he's gonna end up just being another, black politician pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the foundation is an economy. And we always say, like, in different thought processes and schools of thoughts or whatever, if you don't have a foundation, everything else is going to crumble. You know what I'm saying? You can relate that to whatever religion or school of thought you fuck with. But pretty much if the ground ain't solid, everything else is going to fall. And our ground ain't solid because we don't have an economy. And so that's what all of these other people is lacking. Like the Chinese ain't out somewhere talking about rights and all of that shit. Why? Because within this country, they have a process. They have an economy. They got places to go. And they find ways to leech off of the white economy. So if they got to work for them, they go and bring it in. They go to their community with it. We the only ones that can't do that.
The Arabs is at war with the goddamn white people. I don't see them shutting down their businesses. I don't see them shutting down their stores. Black people, every time I talk about economy, the first thing I got to hear is some silly-ass black person say, well, what if the white man sabotage and destroy it like he did Black Wall Street? I'm like, nigga, you talking like you scared of the white man. So that ain't stopping you from selling drugs.
So then let's talk.
No. Here's what I'm saying, bro. That's not stopping you from selling drugs. Because the white man gonna give you life in jail. That don't stop you from shooting at nobody. That don't stop you from carrying illegal guns. That don't stop you from driving without a registration or your license suspended. All my life, living in the hood, I've never heard black people talk about being scared of white people when they're doing crime. Only time I hear black people get scared of white people is when the conversation is building black people up. Go ahead, Smoke.
That's crazy, man. I'm just really laughing at what you. I'm just really laughing at what you're saying, but I mean, if economic building is pretty much nation building, you know what I'm saying? And if we're not trying to nation build an economy, then let's just stop complaining. Let's just end all of the complaining, find a comfortable spot in this white America, and be cool. Ain't nothing to talk about because we're gonna keep dealing with the same damn issues if we don't have an economic base. We're going to have the same issue. We can't resolve our issues without the money, man. Straight up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And every time we get the money, we giving it back. We work, we pay rent to somebody. You got to pay light bill. You got to pay your credit card. None of these shit is owned by us. None of these shit is getting kicked back to us. So we pretty much just the battery packs for everyone else's economy. When we get paid for doing that, we double back and pay them same people again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we stuck in a slave system. And so unless we want to be sharecroppers, unless we cool with that, then our focus has to be on nation building, fucking building black economics, a black economy. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not that, then we could expect the same results that we've been having for the last 100 years. Everything that's been going on there is gonna keep repeating itself, and that's pretty much it. So anybody who's saying that's really against that part of it, then that's pretty much what they saying, whether they realize it or
not. I'm over here looking for this other story. I run across the title. Tamar Braxton's mom said she wants Vincent Herbert to keep his hands off her daughter. So I guess he's boxing her up and something, I guess. I ran across that story because I wanted to read this story here.
He's supposed to be getting divorce or some shit.
Yeah, here's the title. St. Louis black leaders, just like I keep telling y'all black people, you have no leader. You have no leader. And let me continue the story. St. Louis black leaders urge boycott of Target and other stores. Let's see why. Black St. Louis faith, which we know means fool us, and civic leaders, which mean we eat for you, involved in recent protests over the acquittal of a former white police officer in the killing of a black suspect, are calling for supporters to boycott a dozen businesses, including Target and grocery store chains. The group insists it's called for an economic boycott, even though we don't have an economy, of the businesses on Thursday, nearly 2 months after the acquittal of Jason Stokely in the 2011 killing of Anthony Lamar Smith. The verdict sparked a series of protests over the treatment of blacks by the justice system, which the Reverend Dina Tatman, she's a reverend, meaning she's on the chart of We Fool You, said will continue in addition to the boycott. At a news conference announcing the boycott, Tatman also said blacks are subjected to excessive force by police, criminalized for minor infractions, and saddled with long sentences. She also cited economic disparities. We have economic disparities because we don't have an economy. Efforts to diminish voting rights, that's because our so-called political leaders don't fight for us because we don't have an economy. And political redistricting that has made it harder for black people to have their voices heard in elections. If these white people can do gerrymandering and rezone shit, then guess what? Our black so-called leaders can do the same shit. As Main Street America enjoys social and economic prosperity, as Main Street, code word, as white America enjoys social prosperity and economic prosperity because they have an economy, our community, which means the black community, continues to erode. Why? Because we don't have an economy, causing intense strain on our family structure and resulting in high unemployment rates because we don't have an economy to hire ourselves, and wanton incarceration of our black men. Because instead of these black men creating an economy, we now are caught up into this job understanding of life. When you don't get hired within this white man's economy, then you have to commit crimes or hustles like we read last week, and you might get arrested. Once you get arrested, you're part of the system. Tateman said at a news conference Thursday. The timing of the boycott is no coincidence. Coming as the Christmas shopping season nears, Tateman said, quote-unquote, strategic protests are planned outside of businesses during the holiday season, but she declined to offer details because they're here to fool us. Organizers say some of the businesses are being targeted for their alleged mistreatment of black workers or customers.
Now pause right there. Man.
When you don't have it,
pause it for a didn't we say a couple weeks ago, like, we might have been talking off the record, but didn't I say like a couple weeks ago, one of us said that we ain't hear nothing about boycotts throughout the whole year, like boycotting for like Black Friday and all that. Now the holidays is coming up. Now we want to start talking about boycotting the stores as a strategy. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And the sad part about it, Smoke, is ain't nothing, this plan that this reverend, like I said, on the capitalistic chart, We Fool You, her plan is not new. Her plan is what black people are doing.
Typical. It's typical.
Yeah, black Friday bullshit for how long? So it is bullshit, and this is the reason why it's bullshit. because if you understood the bus boycotts of Montgomery and things of this nature, that shit lasted over a year.
Right.
So if that lasted over a year before the system started to crumble and say, yo, we're getting hurt by the lack of black dollars, what the fuck you think you're going to do on a Black Friday? We got 2 days where we're not going to shop, the 23rd and the 24th. And it's like, 2 days? Yeah. You know they did this for a whole year, right? Yeah. So if you're not
as soon as the sales get extended to Monday, it's like, all right, the boycott is over. Sunday,
the boycott
Sunday,
is over.
I'm buying.
We're going to buy everything now. We're going to double up our spending after the boycott. That's crazy. But here's the real crazy thing, Smoke. When you doing the boycotts and things of this nature, it's not supposed to be a boycott. We're never supposed to. Boycotting is the dumbest shit in the fucking world. You're never supposed to boycott. It is the dumbest shit. It don't even make sense. If you have an economy, you're not supposed to boycott. You're supposed to redirect your funds. Redirect your funds. It's not supposed to be, we're going to boycott this grocery store because of the mistreatment of black people. No, it's we're never going to shop at non-black grocery stores anymore.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be we're going to boycott Target and Walmart. Hell no. It's supposed to be we're only shopping at black department stores. You can't see that power without an economy, right? Let me finish this story to get into the Tyrese and all of them. So there goes. Oh, Lord. That's how you can tell these motherfuckers playing games with us. So there goes. Organizers say some of the businesses are being targeted for their alleged mistreatment of black workers or customers or for other reasons. That's because we don't have an economy again. Target Corp, which has 18 stores in the St. Louis area, is listed because of legal dispute allowing it to use Rosa Parks' name and image on civil rights themed merchandise. Target said in a statement that in the lawsuit filed several years ago was without merit and was dismissed. The company said it works hard to demonstrate inclusivity in its products, including a collection of items celebrating Black History Month. You know why Target could play that game? Because we don't have an economy. So while we're fighting white America to change and fighting white America to accept us and fighting white America to include black images and black people on shit, all white America said was, hey, we can really capitalize off these niggas' imagery. And now we get mad and say, you're exploiting us. No, you made us exploit you. That's what should be said. We work with vendors and African-American team members and guests to ensure our Black History Month products will resonate with our guests, the company say. I'm going to read that again so you can understand the gameplay when you don't have an economy. We work with vendors and African-American team members and guests to ensure our Black History Month products will resonate with our guests. So they hire a couple of blacks. They buy little products from other blacks just to come off as giving a fuck about you so you can spend your money there. Schnucks Market, a regional grocery chain that operates more than 60 stores in the St. Louis area, is on the boycott list because it is a major contributor to the Republican candidate, the organization says. Why is this grocery store chain a major contributor to the Republican candidate? It's a business. So when you have a business, you're making money, guess what you do? You contribute to Republican candidates to push your agenda. Schmuck's Market isn't voting for Republican candidates. They're contributing, meaning money, to these groups in order to push their agenda. That's what you do when you have an economy. In a news release, Schmuck said it was surprised and disappointed to be included in the boycott and that it has customers and employees from across the demographic spectrum, meaning we hire y'all niggas. Why y'all boycotting us? It also said it Schmucks help low-income families, and provides more than $13 million in food products to pantries each year. The Galleria Mall in the suburb, hold on. Yeah, let me scroll down. Here we go. The Galleria Mall in the suburb of Richmond Heights also made the list because it was the site of one of the early protests in which more than 20 people were arrested, including some who said police used excessive force. The mall operator didn't reply to phone messages seeking comment. Here go the key. Economic disparities between blacks and whites in the region has heightened. Why? Because black people don't have an economy and white people have an economy. In the aftermath of unrest in 2014 after the fatal police shooting of 18-year-old Michael Brown in the St. Louis suburbs of Ferguson. And I did the science on the crime in Ferguson. Ferguson was not no high crime neighborhood. So when them cops try to make it like that, and because we're so used to negative black stereotypes, we assume that shit was the hood, and it wasn't. Brown was black, and the officer who shot him was a dirty cracker. A 2015 report by the East-West Gateway Council of Governments in St. Louis found that blacks in the region were more than 3 times as likely to be impoverished as whites. Why? No economy. That's the end of that story. You see how no economy works, right, Smoke? That's how no economy works. We'll sit there and say, and all we do is beg. Black people have less than white people. White people have. Black people
we
have.
Beg and
white
patch
people.
it up. Temporary fixes.
But listen, nobody ever asked the question: what is it do white people have? An economy. Nobody answers that. White people have an economy. We're just a workforce, begging to be the workforce for a white economy. Right now, the white economy is on drugs. The white workforce is on drugs. So they're getting the cheap labor, which is the blacks. But guess what? As long as you work for somebody, you're never going to come out. Go ahead, Smoke.
Wow. It's a typical story, man. You know what I mean? The length of what we're going to do is protest, get on TV, complain. And, you don't want to keep reiterating it, but we got to, you know what I mean? It all is based on building an economy. Pretty much at the end of the day.
Because if you don't do that, if you don't keep saying this over and over again, after a while you're going to forget. You're going to listen to these dumb niggas tell you, economic power. We got economic power. You can't have economic power without an economy.
So, if I would say,
economic
I would say to the listeners to really tune your ear with that. So when you listening to, any of these black leaders, supposed black leaders, politicians, whether it's black or white, you know what I mean? Tune it in. What are they talking about? Especially the blacks, people speaking, black leaders and so forth. Is what is coming out of their mouth, is their message, is it leading down the road of building an economy? Or is it everything else? And so you have to tune your ear for that. So when you listen to them, and there's no inkling of economy building, nation building, then you already know that it's a failed plan. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So just tune your ear to that and pay attention to what
good.
What Cass's text.
Dumb shit always sound good. Dumb shit always sound good. But that shit is the dumbest shit. All right, before we get into the Tyrese shit, let me do a story about our Black Past. This brother here is named Robert Abbott. Robert S. Abbott. Born in 1870. Born in 1870 to formerly enslaved parents. Abbott attended Hampton Institute in Virginia and then went to graduate from Kent Law School. It's now called Chicago Kent College of Law in Illinois. In 1899, right, he graduated from Kent Law School in 1899. He was born 1870. In May 1905, publishing the Chicago Defender. In the early years, he personally sold subscriptions to the paper and advertising by going door to door. The paper attacked racial injustice, particularly lynching in the South. The Defender did not use the word Negro or Black in its page. Instead, African Americans were referred to as the race. The Black men and women as race men and race women. Many places in the South effectively banned the paper, especially when, during World War I, Abbott actively tried to convince Southern blacks to migrate to the North. Abbott managed to get railroad porters to carry his paper south, and he ran articles, editorials, cartoons, even train schedules and job listings to convince the Defender's Southern readers to come north. The Great Northern Migration, as it was called in the Defender, resulted in more than 1 million blacks migrating north, about 100,000 of them coming to Chicago. The Defender was passed from person to person and read aloud in barbershops and churches. It is estimated that at its height, each paper sold was read by 4 or 5 African Americans, putting its readership at over 500,000 people a week. In the burgeoning economic times of the 1920s, that's the roaring 20s, right before the Depression, next year, Black Wall Street will be burnt down, 1921. With hundreds of new products and the growth of advertising, the Defender became an economic success, and Abbott became one of the first African-American millionaires. He died in Chicago in 1940, with the Defender still a success. That's it. That's his story. That's that brother's story. They didn't say he was the first African-American millionaire. He said he became one of, meaning there was others. I done read to you about the brother.
I saw I just saw an information I was looking at on him. His initial investment was 25 cents in the Defender in 1905.
Yeah, but you know the time difference and things of that nature. But
yeah, they got the
point
equivalent,
is,
like it would be $7 in 2016.
Oh, still.
It would be $7.
All right, so still like bread then. Okay.
But he
like
made an
bread.
investment. That's
$7.
really was the point I made.
Yeah.
Putting it in is like him taking his money and being like, all right, we're going to do this. And it was small and it turned into something major.
Right. Now I could dig that. But that's a brother in the 1800s. That this is what he did, right? And let's talk about Tyrese. So now, before we talk about Tyrese, some breaking news. WME's Adam Venit, VENIT, is on leave amid sexual harassment allegations involving actor Terry Crews. So the guy who grabbed Terry Crews' dick, now we know his name.
Right.
Adam Venit, the longtime head of WME's motion picture group, is on leave from the agency as it probes an allegation of sexual harassment involving Terry Crews. Crews disclosed via social media on October 10th that he was groped last year at a Hollywood function by a high-level Hollywood exec. Sources close to the situation said Crews in recent days has been preparing to cite Venit as the unnamed executive. Crews is a client of WME. Reps for WME and Venit declined to comment, as did a spokeswoman for Crews. Details about the incident include the setting of the event. Details about the incident, including the setting of the event, remain sketchy. It's unclear if Venit allegedly intent was overtly sexual or if it was aggressive horseplay that crossed the line. Crews said the groping occurred in the full view of his wife. Now, I ain't got to read the rest. We already know the story, but it's funny that they said they don't know where's that? They're going to say they don't know was it intent to be overtly sexual or was it aggressive horseplay, right? It's funny they said aggressive horseplay because that's how they're spinning it on the Bocce boy Kevin Spacey. They saying how he used to like to grope people was they'll play that wrestling, like he wrestling with you, and not just get his feels up on you. You know what I'm saying? That's why when I was younger, I was never into that. I used to always see niggas on the block want to wrestle with each other. I'm like, what the fuck y'all? I never understood that shit. You know what I'm saying? I never understood that weirdo shit. Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess, you know, some man macho test each other's strength shit, but
you're supposed to shadow box or open hand slap.
Niggas,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like slap boxing is slap boxing.
Yeah, slap boxing.
All the time. Yeah, I used to be like, that shit used to always be weird too. But I said that just to get that one out. So that's the Terry Crews story. Now let's get into this Tyrese story. What you got to say about the Tyrese, man?
What's wrong with Tyrese, man? Tyrese need to put his damn phone down and get his shit together, man. Like, just, I mean, it's like, I don't want to laugh at the brother, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, it ain't necessarily funny, but it's like he putting himself out there, you know what I mean? Like, for me, just looking at it, you know, the last video they had of him, he crying and, pretty much complaining about having to pay $13K and, the issues that he having with his baby mother and his daughter. And so, I mean, just for me, it's just like, it's just weakness, you know what I'm saying? It's just him showing weakness, It's like, if I'm in that situation, the last thing I want to do is be on social media venting. I mean, you have your feelings, you have your, people you might want to reach out to and so forth, but just to be out there like that, and it's like, get yourself together, man. Put your game plan together and work within that, man. Just the outright, it just looked too soft, man. Like, get yourself together, bro. Straight up, man.
I'm not going to say that shit looked too soft. I'm going to say that shit was some soft ass shit. And I did laugh at that shit when I seen it. Because I'm not into all this crying. I don't come from that era of this crying ass men shit. That shit's weird to me. Van Jones crying on TV because goddamn Trump is president. Another black conservative thing, he crying. And I'm not into that crying shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care what the black woman say. Your man shouldn't be out here fucking boo-hooing and shit like that, man. Fuck out of here. Now, human is human. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But at the same time, you got to say to yourself, that's some weak shit. Your daughter, you paying $13,000 a month for your daughter in child support, and you on fucking social media crying because you ain't see your daughter in 2 months. That shit baffles me because my attitude is this. Instead of you crying that you're not seeing your daughter in 2 months, it's going to be 2 months you out there doing the fucking work, talking to family lawyers, and I ain't talking about I'm going to get the best lawyer that money can buy. You don't got to do that. You don't got to do that. Why don't you Google the rights of a parent in your state and say to yourself, yo, can she take my child out? Next time you go to court, this is what I'm going to do. I'm used to the proactive man. I'm used to the man that planned. I'm used to the man that says, oh, okay, you're playing games, okay? All right, you got it. You got it. Oh, you done took my daughter out. All right, you got it. You got it, no problem. Guess what? Next time you hear from me, I know the rights I have. That's what I'm used to. I'm not used to these men now that want to cry all the goddamn time. That's some weirdo shit to me. That's some weirdo shit. Because at the end of the day, where the fuck is your strength? Look at Ludacris. Yeah. Ludacris, who was part of the Fast and Furious with Tyrese, this dude was with his woman, Exodus or whatever her name is? With his woman.
Yeah, I can't remember.
They allegedly had a break. Yeah, they allegedly had a break. He sleeps with a shorty. Shorty gets pregnant. Have his daughter. Ludacris snatches up the daughter, gets custody of her, happily ever after. Happily ever after. The end. No crying at one time on social media. Mm-hmm. I want my child. The end.
Yeah, I mean, plus there's also a legal aspect to it. You know what I mean? He really showing himself as unstable. So if he have any fucking thoughts or wishes of trying to get his daughter back, you know, that could be used against him. And it's not just that one outburst. I mean, people been coming, you know, the last few months, people been saying, come get Tyrese. What's wrong with him? He lashing out on people, you know, and shit like that. So he pretty much kind of setting a pattern of, you know, unstable behavior. And so that don't translate well to parenting, especially when somebody looking at you in the court and trying to grant you custody or supervision or something. So he was accused of the last time of, you know, I guess being, aggressively beating her.
No, the child abuse shit the child abuse shit is
that went away?
But it don't even Yeah, it don't even make no sense to even speak on that shit. I'm just looking on the imagery of the crying and shit. Because to me, I don't understand what do you gain from that? I'm speaking generally as a black man to all black men. What do you gain from that? The only thing you can gain is saying that same energy of you boo-hooing and all kind of shit, take that same energy and say, this is the next steps that I'm going to take. That's what I say. Use that crying shit and turn that shit into action. Straight up. Turn that shit into action. Because, see, we've been doing that. Same way if you got your homie dealing with a shorty cheats on him or some shit, nigga broken-hearted and shit like that, he's feeling down. You know what niggas do? Yo, they give that man a bottle, yo. They be like, yo, man, take a sip, man. Yo, man, don't even think about that, man. Don't even think about that, yo. Yo, fuck it, yo, listen, man. Everything's about going on to the next step. Once we start to get comfortable as men to self-loathe and to wallow in guilt and pain and suffering and shit like that, we lost as men. I can't speak for women, so I'm not going to speak for women. But I know as a man, you don't got time for that. You don't got time for that. We always have to keep pushing and going forward. As soon as we start getting to that point, feeling like, well, we need to start self-loathing. We need to start just, woe is me and all kind of shit like that. Nah, man. Nah, that's weird. I'm glad the brother got the case dropped, because when I hearing the whole abuse and all that shit, I'm like, I don't know. That's he say, she say. A lot of times these chicks be lying. So I'm glad this shit got dropped. But again, your shit would have got dropped without you cursing. I mean, without you crying. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. That's the whole Tyrese shit. I just feel like as men, we ain't supposed to be doing all that whining, crying bullshit, yo. You gotta be standing up and taking action. You know what I'm saying? And stop being reactionary. Then it goes into the whole story with this whole Nature Boy shit. You ever heard of this nigga before, Nature Boy?
Only Nature Boy I know, Rick Flair. Like, is that you talking about?
Nah,
that's not
like, I ain't talking about no damn crackers.
Nah,
some black dude on YouTube. Nah,
okay,
some dude on YouTube and shit. I just stumbled on this shit, so I'm looking at it, and these dudes leave.
Right. Okay. All right, cool. Go ahead. Go into the story, but I've seen this before.
Yeah, he goes into they don't go to Africa, they go to South America or some shit like that,
and Costa Rica.
Yeah, want to live in the land and all that bullshit, and you know what I'm saying, convincing all these young black chicks, you know what I'm saying, that whoever the fuck he claimed.
They had the video with him and like a bunch of other people. They was being detained, and they had like the officials talking to them, you know, trying to find out information. He like, we don't got to talk to them. We trying to resist or whatever he was saying. He had a bunch of people. All right, cool. A bunch of fools with him.
And I just want black people to know. You know what? Fuck black people. I want black women.
Legio Bishop.
Yeah, I want black women to know. Do not follow no nigga that's telling you a bunch of pseudo bullshit. Especially if this dude got to move in with you. I'm talking to black women. Because this is the pattern, right? This is shit I grew up in. You dig what I'm saying? I grew up in this shit. And this is what the community looks like. It's a bunch of black women with a bunch of young-ass fucking kids. She's lost. And she's only lost because she's been told that she has to follow a man. So then you have these dudes who are not men, who can't even take care of their goddamn selves. They're fucking for homes. They fucking for a place to rest their head at. So they see Shorty, they talk a little good game. Shorty thinking like, wow, he'll be a good role model for my son, or some shit like that. This dude will convince her, no, he's into polygamy. So now he need a gang of y'all chicks now just to sustain himself. And guess what? 20 years go by, them kids going to get older, your ass going to get older, he ain't going to be there no more, and you ain't going to have shit. Stop following these weak niggas, yo. Straight up. That's the message to the black woman. Stop following these weak niggas. That shit is embarrassing, yo. I'm listening to this shit, Smoke, and I'm listening to this dude talk. Yo, the nigga said, I don't plan. I live my shit day by day. I stay prepared, but I don't plan.
Yeah.
What? The only person that don't plan is a motherfucker who ain't doing shit. I live both lives. I live the life of a nigga, and I'm living the life as a man. And when I was living my life as a
black
nigga,
leadership.
I didn't plan. Yeah, you said what?
It's like black leadership.
I don't know what that is. You gotta explain that one to me. I ain't never seen that shit before. I feel a lot of black talker shit.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's what I see, but I don't see no leadership. I see a whole lot of fucking talking. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, when I was a nigga in these streets, I didn't see the future. I didn't plan for the future because I wasn't doing shit. As a man, I have to plan for the future. I have to set goals for myself. I have to develop a timeline, a game plan. I have to do that. And not only do I have to do that, it's my fucking duty as a man to pass that on to my sons so my sons understand. You have to plan. You have to prepare. You have to come up with goals. You see what I'm saying? When I'm listening to this little nut job say he don't plan, and then you got all these women around you and shit like that, it just compelled me to put on Facebook, "Dear black woman, if a man wants to teach you, learn. But if this man is teaching you that you're beneath him, run. Especially if you have children." I felt compelled because, I just started getting flashbacks when I was young. Flashbacks when I was young. You see what I'm saying? I remember being a young Rasta, growing up in this environment and shit like that, and seeing families where the woman is weak or conditioned, I should say, where the woman is conditioned to be weak, and this fool of a man is the head of the house, and the children is malnourished, the children can't read and write because they're homeschooled. You see what I'm saying? These are literally people I've seen all my life growing up. These type of people in these type of environments. So now at 37 years old, I have to hear this nut job talk, and then he have a sister that used to be down with him. I think her name is Yaya something. Yaya something. And I'm listening to her talk. And the funny thing about her, she got some sense about her, but she's never going to elevate because, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but black women, I'm guessing that they don't think, I don't know if they don't think, maybe they're smart enough, or maybe the condition of being beat down so much and taught that you're supposed to be underneath a man is so ingrained into their DNA that they don't think elevating. They think more like on a more horizontally than vertically. You see what I'm saying? So instead of thinking vertically going up, they think more horizontally, just going in a straight line across. So they never rise above. They just stay at one level and expand. But black woman, you got to cut that shit out. You got to cut that shit out. If you want to elevate yourself, black woman, stop reading any books about black men. Straight up. You shouldn't know shit about the black man. Straight up. All you need to be doing is reading up on the glories of black woman and seeing what she done. Because when you know what the black woman did in history, it is impossible for a man to tell you, you're beneath me. You're secondary but necessary. And all these other dumbass shit. All that shit comes from the divine rights of king. All of that shit comes from the divine rights of king, some King James shit. It's just a fucking doctrine that says that. So let me read the divine rights of king real quick, because the same shit, the Christian doctrine follows the same shit. It goes divine rights of kings. It's a political doctrine in defense of monarchical absolutism, which asserts that kings derive their authority from God and could not therefore be held accountable for their actions by any earthly authority, such as a parliament. Originating in Europe, the divine right theory can be traced to the medieval concept of God's award of temporal power to the political ruler, paralleling the award of spiritual power to the church. The award of spiritual power to the church. By the 16th and 17th century, however, the new national monarchs were asserting their authority in matters of both church and state. King James of England was the foremost exponent of the divine rights of kings, but the doctrine virtually disappeared from English politics after the Glorious Revolution of 1688 to 89. In the late 1700s and the 18th century, kings such as Louis the 14th, 1643 to 1715 of France, continued to profit from the divine rights theory, even though many of them no longer had any truly religious beliefs in it. The American Revolution, 1775 to 83, the French Revolution, 1789, and the Napoleon Wars deprived the doctrine of most of its remaining credibility. It deprived it, showing that it was bullshit. So what happened is the church picked up on the shit. So they say God, instead of God being ahead of the king, now God is head of the man. Ain't that how this shit works, Smoke? Is God is head of the man, and the man is the head of the whole shit and all that other dumb shit?
Something like that. God, then Jesus, then man, then woman.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that whole fucking, black women, y'all gotta wake up. Y'all gotta wake up. Because if y'all following these silly niggas out here, they telling y'all this polygamy bullshit. Again, if a man gotta move in with you, he can't then make you beneath him. Because prior to him, you was already paying bills, you was already working, you was already holding down your house. All of this I'm saying because this is this bullshit I had to deal with in life. You know what I'm saying? My mother have her crib, she got her children and shit, and she got these niggas moving in with her. And then they want to move in with her, and then they want to try to fucking make rules in the house. That's why you always have to clash with niggas. Because I'm sitting over here like, yo, what the fuck you following these niggas' rules for? You wasn't here yesterday, now you here today, and now we got to change up shit? Yeah, like what the fuck is this?
Takeover.
Nah, these black women got to elevate their mind, man, because these niggas out here, it's not even like they saying some real shit. These niggas out here saying some stupid shit. I can understand if you, and that's why I said, if a man is teaching you, black woman, then listen. That's just information and knowledge. Just like if the black woman got something to teach to the black man. Listen, that's
learn the
information
difference between teaching and manipulation. And you'll be able to better navigate through these niggas, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because a lot of times you'll see the vice versa, where it's a cat teaching and they clashing with the dude. You know what I'm saying? So you got to learn the difference between these niggas manipulating you and, you know, Rasta B just gave you the points. Those are easy points. You know what I'm saying? Something easy you can pick up on, you can look at right away. All right. This is happening. You got any doubt in your mind? Leave it alone. Stop falling for your lower self. He be knocking you out in the bed. You know what I'm saying? And you want to keep any of these signs come up, take your ass on. Especially if you got kids, because that to pass that on to your mistakes on to the next generation. Like you don't want to do that. So yeah, I mean, that's important too. You know what I'm saying? Like, to know that this is out here, and our sisters got to be aware of shit like that. Because I was seeing that earlier in the week, seeing the brother on the video, and I'm like, well, what he trying to do? You know, he's really trying to get everybody locked up because police is going to keep going through or whatever. You know, he don't care. You don't have no point, no end game. He just really clashing with the officers, and they wasn't even really getting hyped. They just trying to ask questions at that point in time, at least the part of the video I saw. So it was just like I didn't really understand what he was going on. So when you mentioned it just now,
yeah, he already said the nigga ain't got no plan. He ain't got no plan. He don't plan. Come on, and see the thing that kills me about this shit is like you said earlier. Let it be a black man riding a Zach. You know what I'm saying? Not on no bullshit. Correcting where you need correcting at. Black women don't listen to that shit. Fight tooth and nail from that black man. But let it be one of these silly niggas who gonna tell you some pseudo bullshit. Oh, I deal with this, you know, some weird. I can't even pretend to know the pseudo bullshit. You know what I'm saying? To even say it as a joke. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. The thing that really gets me about it because I grew up under this shit. I grew up under it. I seen it. When I used to believe this shit, I seen it. I see the men. I see them sit there when it comes to rosters. One of the rosters' code is ideology, I should say. I don't know if it still is, but this is what it was back when I was younger. The smartest roster woman can never be smarter than the dumbest roster man. There was a time when roster men will walk, and the woman has to walk 5 steps behind him. You know what I'm saying? Little stupid shit like that.
Right,
yeah, and you'll see them follow this dumb shit. And that because the Hebrew Israelites, all these niggas do that stupid shit. All of these niggas do this dumb shit. Because see, when you're not a man, then the first thing you have to do is oppress somebody so you can now be on top. You see what I'm saying? That's what that shit is. That shit ain't masculine. That shit ain't manly. You sending your people that's listening to your bullshit to goddamn Latin America, and then they get incarcerated, and then you begging the fucking United States Embassy to come back into America, the same fucking America you talking about running from to live in the fucking wild. That's reckless. That's reckless. And the real reckless shit is a lot of times there's babies being born and babies being toted around in this shit. And like I said, the sad part about it, everybody ain't lucky as me. Everybody not lucky as me. You got a lot of these dumb niggas, they don't make it to be 37-year-old and understand the bullshit and able to have a house and things of this nature and children and things of this nature. And able to say, wow, that shit was some crazy shit. A lot of people not lucky. A lot of times you get caught up in that shit. A lot of times it fucks up your education. It fucks up your health as a kid. You know what I'm saying? You in things of this nature, it's like, nah, we gotta stop that. Why the fuck am I listening to these young girls say the same shit, come to the same conclusion, or fighting against this ideology in 2017 when my mother was fighting against this ideology in the late 80s, early 90s? I used to watch my mother debate fucking Hebrew in Brooklyn in the late 80s. I used to hate walking down the street with my mother. Because soon we see these goddamn Power Ranger ass niggas and shit, because I didn't know they was called Hebrews. I just said the brothers with the copper shits on their arms. You know what I'm saying? They always were dressed like Tazarian and all them niggas. Since way back when. And I remember my mother walking past these niggas and debating these niggas on Bible scriptures and all kind of shit like that. All of that shit. None of this shit is new. So now when I'm starting to see the ugly parts of it, I'm just like, wow, man. We're stuck in an ideology. We're stuck. Then the disrespect of this, Smoke, when I'm telling black people, our problem is not racism, white supremacy. I'm telling y'all that's not the problem. Our problem is we don't have an economy. So this is what happens, Smoke. Here's racism, white supremacy. Here's racism, white supremacy. You go into Houston, or you go into Target, like the St. Louis story. You get mistreated by white people. You get bad customer service. You get bad treatment. What happened? That's racist. They're doing that because I'm black. That's racist. Every black person listening is going to say, yeah, that is racist. That is racism. No, it's not. White people mistreating you in the fucking store is not racism. White people discriminating against you is not racism. That's called bad customer service. That's what that's called. Bad customer service. Why do I say that's called bad customer service? Because when black people give you bad customer service, you dismiss the whole black economy and the whole business, black business. And you say, I'm not supporting black business because of their bad customer service. But when you go to white people and get bad customer, you say it's racism. Then you hoot and holler and you force them to change their policies and change their ways to accommodate you and make this situation better for you. Then you go back and you patronize that store. No, that's bad customer service. Treat these goddamn white stores the same way you would treat a black store. Or it is racism. It is racism that you're dealing with. And if it's racism that you're dealing with, next time you go to a black business and that black business give you bad customer service, scream racism and say this is a racist establishment. And when I come into this store and this terrible customer service, I'm doing that because I'm black. And it shouldn't matter that the people behind it doing it is black. It shouldn't matter. Say racism and force that goddamn black store to have better hiring practices, better customer service, and treat you better as a black person. But we can't separate it. You dig what I'm saying, Smoke? We can't separate it. If you say it's racism, make racism be the core for every goddamn race of people that you deal with, including your own. Stop separating it. I don't call it racism no more. Bad customer service. If I walk into a white fucking store, a pizzeria, some shit like that, and motherfuckers don't want to serve, or I'm standing around like, God, you know what I'm going to say? Bad customer service. I would never eat at Ruby Tuesdays again. I will never eat at Applebee's again. I will never get pizza from Papa John's and no shit like that. I will never shop at Target again because of the bad customer service. That's why I don't shop at any Target. No, we don't do that. We want white people to correct their shit while we shit on our shit. That's bogus. That's bogus. All of that is bogus. You see what I'm saying, Smoke? We need a fucking economy so we can sustain ourselves. Because 2018, you think 2017 was rough? Wait till 2018 when all these elections come in. Wait till 2018. It's going to be funky 2018 because then we're going to see when Trump drained that swamp, who get replaced. A lot of Trump seats not even filled. Why? Who he really want there? A lot of these guys, Corker and all these guys like that, these dudes is gonna get primaried out, and so now we got to see it. The Democrats gonna pick it up or Republicans? We already know the Democrats fucked up. We've been telling y'all the Democrats fucked up for how long now? We've been telling y'all about the DNC getting sued and all that shit. So don't put your hopes in the Democrats. They're done. The next time you're going to hear about Democrats is probably going to be 2024 election, 25 or some shit like that, 24, 25, after that third term. That's when you're going to hear about them. 2018, they turn their backs on black people. They're going to turn their backs, and all you're going to hear them say is, no more identity politics, a.k.a. we're not catering to y'all niggas no more. We want that white working class vote. And when they want that white working class vote, you know what that means? That's the high unemployment within the black community. That's what that means. They're going to start replacing your black asses for the white people. I mean, us white people, for the white working class. And then the question is what? What you going to say? Racism, white supremacy again? Economy. So we can sustain ourselves. That's what we need. We don't have that. Look at this shit, Smoke. I know I ain't tripping, right? So watch this shit. The U.S. national debt.
Oh,
savings per family, $5,988.
Yeah, I'm actually just trying to find it on the screen. Which side is it on?
No, it's right there. It's on the. I mean, it's in the front. It just says savings per family. It's under U.S. total debt.
Okay, I got you.
But 5,988 every week it dropped.
Yeah, it was like 6,000 something. So,
it was. I think
about
last
3,
week
4
was
shows
6,000. Yeah, it was 6,000 some change. Now it's 5,988. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say revenue per family was 10,000. I mean, revenue per citizen was 10,000, but it dropped to 9,523. But then I see the other revenue per citizen at 10,223. So I'm wondering if I was looking at that or not. But I know for a fact the savings per family is decreasing. That's not a good sign. The savings per family in the United States is increasing. I don't believe in the whole ideology of we all got to unify and unite. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that because the Afrikaners are a minority, and they locked down South Africa during apartheid through law. The Jews are a minority in America, and they locked down shit. The Asians are a minority in America. Down shit. So I don't believe in the concept of we need all of us to be on the same page because one employer can employ 50,000 people, 1,000 people, 500 employees. You know what I'm saying? You can have a business with 500 employees, and that's a popping business. 500. You can have a business with 100 employees. That's still 100 families. So I don't believe in the concept that we all need to be on the same page, and if we all, the only reason why we keep talking that all shit is because we don't have an economy. So because we don't know how the economy works, we think all of us collectively together pulling out money will have us having a lot of money. But money don't mean shit if you don't got an economy. Economics is not existing without an economy. Now, economic disparity is real. You get that without an economy. Economic disparity. But you cannot have economic power without an economy. You cannot be economically empowered without an economy. You cannot have an economic stronghold or any other fucking word without an economy. The only thing you can have without an economy is economic disparity. That is it. That's it.
The shit we got now. All the problems we got now.
And you know what, too, Smoke? Just something else for black people to understand. 2018, stop being a moral police for white people. Stop being a moral police for white people. White people don't like you. White people is racist. White people don't like you. And whatever else stereotypes and shit that there is. They don't like you. So guess what? Stop worrying about them. Stop worrying about them. Like, I wish I could teach that to black people. Stop worrying about white people. I'm at the gas station. White dude walk up to me. Sir, can I ask you a question? I say no. He walks away puzzled in the state. But he walks away. No, you can't talk to me. If I'm walking around, got my dreads, you know what I'm saying? I'm at work and shit. White boy walking, I'm going to the restroom. He stops. He looking all flustered and shit, and he's like, oh, I could never get my hair like that. I look down at him, and I'm like, okay. And I kept walking. I'm going to take a piss. Stop worrying about white people. Stop being a moral compass. When they put blackface on, okay. They're not putting blackface on in your neighborhood. They're putting blackface on in their neighborhood. Fuck them. Fuck them. That's how they think about you. Fuck them. The end. But to post them and bitch and complain and, oh, look what white people doing now and keep doing it. To me, that's dick rotting. You know what I'm saying, Smoke? That's why you worrying about it like that?
Yeah, like, man, we got better shit to worry about.
Let's change that shit. We got to change
all that physical. Shit, if it ain't causing physical harm to you, financial harm, man, it ain't even nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
And if it is, do something.
Yeah, exactly.
If it is, do
something. Exactly.
That's my whole shit. Do something about it. If you ain't gonna do nothing about it, stop bitching about it. 2018 is time for power. 2018 is time for the black man to stand the fuck up. 2018 is for the black woman to stand the fuck up. No more this separation, no more this gender war, no more this fucking exploiting each other, none of that weirdo shit. It's time for us to really take this shit called life serious. We don't have leadership. We have a lot of failed and fucked up dumbass decisions. And the only way for us to get out of the rut that we in is not following the old narratives of the past and actively start creating new narratives. And your new narrative, teach that shit to your child. Because if your child follow your ways of life and grow up and become something great, then you can pass that shit on to the world because at least you know the shit gonna work. But don't come up with no bullshit-ass idea full of the world, black people of the world, while your child out there gangbanging and shit, and your daughter out there dying. Because if your ideology and your ideas can't help your children and your family, then how the fuck is it going to help somebody else? And that's in Black America Radio. It's your host, Rasta B. Smoke, what you got to say, man?
Oh, man, you hit them points right there at the end. I mean, really throughout the show. You know what I'm saying? Salute for all the stories you brought. You know what I'm saying? Another week.